Amigos, welcome back to lesson number 14. Now, in this lesson, we are now going to look at the barriers, the challenges, the difficulties, which are the problems. And as you probably can imagine, the bigger the goals, the bigger the problems, or the bigger the barriers we have to go through. So if you have a strong mission, big vision, great things you want to achieve, we also need to learn how do we deal with the difficulties on the way, which for this training we will call the problems. So first of all, I don't know your experience, but I have seen many people are kind of running away from problems. So in the company, there's a problem. Oh, no, I don't want to deal with this. They're running away from it. It's almost like there's somebody coming with this big spider kind of throwing at you. Oh, no, don't give me problems. But that's not a good solution, because the moment we start to run away from the problems, very often we start to worry about them. We start collecting them. I don't know if you ever met somebody who, for some reason or another, they go through life, they face a problem, and they put it on kind of a backpack on the back. And now they're collecting these problems. And they're getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Life is getting more and more difficult, etc. The problems are like the frogs. What are we going to do with them? So ideally, we learn how to become a master problem solver or a master frog eater. Now imagine for a moment, let's say you are standing here, you're coming on the road, and there are two directions you can go. You can go in the direction of problems, or you can go in the direction of solutions. Now, I don't know how you see it, but I think the smartest strategy, it is to go in the direction of solutions, not to avoid problems, not to run away from them, because it's impossible. There are certain problems we have to deal with, because the more we want, the more the problem is going to be there. So how are we going to deal with them if we go in the direction of the solution? We could say there are different strategies. You can go about it as a magician or a wizard. You kind of wave your wand and the problems disappear by themselves. In my experience, very rarely this has happened in my life. Now, but if you look on the right, you see a scientist in the laboratory. Now, what does he do? He's testing, he's trying. Oh no, this didn't work. Let me try something else. That didn't work. Now we're going the right. No, that's not good enough, etc. So that's a scientific approach how to deal with problems. I think it was Einstein who one time said, I have, more problems than anyone else in life, but I never give up. I always find a solution in the end, even if it takes 1,000 attempts, but I keep trying. So like we talked about the boxer before, who's always ready at least to go 12 rounds, but 12 rounds could be the double or the triple, etc. So ideally, we look at problems like scientifically, like in the laboratory. So if you have a problem in the family, can be like a personal conflict with somebody in the family, treat it like you go in the laboratory. Now how do I solve this problem? So, and here there has to be the desire to solve the problem. Many people don't have a desire to solve it. They just want to fight because their emotions, their upsetness has now taken control of them. So they just want to fight. I want to be right. You are wrong. You make me upset, etc. But that doesn't solve the problem. We want to work as a team. So ideally, if you get married, of course, ideally it's a marathon. You stay for the long haul and you really get along with each other. But there's going to be a lot of problems. The same with your kids, going to be problems, etc. And at work, there's going to be all kinds of problems between the different departments, between people, between management and the team, with clients, suppliers, etc. Lots of problems. So if you look at it scientifically or methodology-wise and say, how do I solve this problem? So there got to be this desire to solve it. George Lewis, he one time said, creativity can solve almost any problem. When I heard this, or I read it actually, I went, at first, yeah, that sounds logical, but suddenly the next day it really hit me. Wow, that means really, if I have a problem and I don't solve it, why not? Because I was not creative enough. I need to try more attempts. Like the scientists in the lab, I need to be here very creative. Try this, try that. No, that didn't work. Try something else. Ask other people, what do they think? What is their experience, etc. Creativity can solve almost any problem. Of course, when we look at life, we spoke earlier, we have the 3 key areas of development: the mindset, hard skills, and soft skills. Of course, hard skills is somehow the easiest to deal with because you can measure it, you can see it. Does the car drive or not? Does it stop or not? Does the computer work or not? But when we talk about mindset, how to make a person more positive, how to make a person more optimistic, how to make a person more creative, more of a fighter. Now, that is a little bit more difficult because you cannot tangibly, physically deal with it. The same with the soft skills. How do you measure if a person has very good soft skills? How good are you as a communicator? How good are you as a leader, persuader, as a parent, etc.? It's not the same to measure as in the physical world with physical objects. So here we need to be very, very creative. And as you can see in this training, the golden key of teamwork, it's about mindset and it's about soft skills. Very, very little hard skills, where most other education, of course, is mainly about the hard skills. So how do we do it? I put together a system. I call it the 9-step problem-solving process. It's a very simple, very practical, and it really does work if you follow the process step by step as it should be. So in step number 1, there is a problem. This can be a big problem, small problem. It can be a problem with your car, can be a problem with a person. It can be a problem with your health. It could be any type of problem. Now, before we can solve this problem, we need to understand the problem. We need to understand exactly what is this problem. And we can call this, we need to analyze the problem by understanding the components of this problem. Now, how do we do that? So you maybe have heard about the husband and his 5 wives. So the word husband starts with the letter H and wife starts with the letter W. So we go first to these 5 wives and ask them the specific questions. What is the problem or what is happening? Second wife, you ask, who is involved? Who is doing what? The third wife, where is it happening? Does it happen at home, at work, when you're traveling? Where location on the planet? The fourth wife, you ask, when is it happening? When did it start? How often does it happen? Anything regarding time. And now you go to the fifth wife and you ask, why is it happening? Why are they doing it? Why is this going on like that? This is an extremely powerful question because if somebody is doing something, whatever they're doing, you remember from the curiosity scale, ask them what is going on and why is this happening? People might not always know why, but you keep asking them. You have maybe even heard a problem-solving system of the 5 whys. So you ask, why is this happening? Person says, because of blah, blah. You said, no, but why is that happening? And then you dig down, why, until you come down to the root cause of the problem. But you start digging. And finally, you ask the husband, how does this influence us? What are the consequences? What are the effects caused by this problem? So this is a very powerful way so we can remember it, how to analyze the problem. Now, most people in Denmark, where I'm from, people react emotionally instead of like rationally. So we need to ask these 5 wives and the husband, what is happening? Who is involved? Where is it going on? When did it start? When is it happening? Why is it happening? Why are they doing it? And how does it influence us, etc.? Questions like that. And if it's a serious type of problem, take note, write it down. Think with a pen. Think on paper. Because when you start writing down what is happening, basically describing the frog, then you somehow control the emotions better. Because if you keep just thinking about things, I feel depressed. You say, I'm depressed. You can keep saying it over and over because that's all the emotions. But when you write down, I feel depressed. All right, now I've written that down. What else do I feel? Well, I don't feel secure enough, etc. Just write down all the thoughts that comes up to you. So this is step number 1. Analyze the problem. You want to understand as much as possible about the problem. And if it's relevant or fitting, ask other people. How do they see this problem? What is their point of view on it? Maybe you can learn something from them. Brainstorm with them. Now, after we've done that, now we're ready for step number 2. Now we are looking for what is called potential solutions. And you can see here, it's not singular, it's in plural. And we're looking not necessarily the solution yet, because we don't know what exactly is the best solution. So what we do here, so imagine, for example, here you have the problem in the center. And you write solution 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 potential solutions. You don't know exactly which one is the right one yet. Now, I don't know your experience, but I have experienced very often by myself and with others, we too quickly jump on the solutions. Oh, we need to do this, whatever that is. But it might not always be the best solution. So particularly in areas to deal with mindset and soft skills, let's say you need to work more on social media, which one should you start with, or how to do it, how do you do your content marketing, etc., etc. So write down all these possible solutions. So you start to look up, all right, if this doesn't work, I can try that, I can try different things. There is a kind of an abundance of, we could call them, opportunities of solving this problem. If you think, oh, there's no solution, then you have this scarcity of solutions. You want abundance of solutions, and you start to feel better, more confident, etc. The same, if you are a salesperson or an executive or an entrepreneur, you don't have enough income. Okay, what are the possible solutions? Who can I talk to? You want this abundance of potential customers, etc. Now, after you have done this, now you've written down all these potential solutions. Now you go to step number 3. Now you evaluate the solutions. Which solution of all these options is the best one? And then at some point after you evaluate it, which one is the most likely to solve this problem? So step 4, you decide which one you want to use. But you gotta grab one solution. All right, I will do this one. As an example, let's say I need to do fitness. I'm overweight, I need to eat more healthy and do more fitness. Which diet shall I go on? There's maybe, I don't know, hundreds of different diets. I don't know which one is the best yet. So I write down all the possible solutions, and then I evaluate each one of these ones. The same with fitness programs. There's a lot of fitness programs we can do. You can run or jog, you can go swimming, you can go to the gym, you can do yoga. So we want to analyze all these different diets and fitness program and decide which one is the best. And after you have taken one, say, all right, that's the one I will go for. Now step 5. Now you plan what exactly you're going to do. So ideally, if it's a more serious problem or business problem, etc., write it down on your paper. So it's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And one key thing, when you write down the plan, you can involve the husband and his 5 wives. So you write down in the plan what we're going to do, who's going to do it, where are we going to do it, when are we going to do it, why are we going to do it, and how are we going to do it. So now you have better control over the actual planning of it. And then after you've written your plan, now you go in step 6. Now you go into action. You can write the best plan in the world, but what if you don't do it? It won't solve anything. So we gotta get in action. Now, very often, I don't know if you have experience, you might have a good plan, you might even have the right plan, but you somehow don't finish it, you don't fulfill it, and the problem is still there. So what we do after some time, we analyze or we check, how is the progress of this plan? Are we going forward? Are we solving the problem? Are we getting better? Are there improvements? Or we need to step 8, which is, do we need to correct something in this plan? Because maybe in the beginning, you didn't have all the information, you didn't know what could be done, etc. So in step 8, really write down now what we call your corrected plan. And then, of course, in step 9, now you go in action with the corrected plan. And so you can see, 7, 8, 9 is like a constant circle. You check the progress, correct the plan, and go in action. After a couple of weeks, check the progress, correct the plan, and go in action. Whatever we need to correct, maybe you need somebody to coach you, to push you, or inspire you, whatever that could be of the correction, or something need to be added to the planning. And don't forget, other people's problems are easier to solve than our own problems. So if you have a problem and you somehow cannot solve it on your own, get someone to help you. Get yourself a problem-solving coach or something like that. So like we said, you could previously get yourself a frog coach, somebody who will help you, etc. So these problems can be every area of life. Now, just imagine for a moment, what if you become a master problem solver? How would your life be? How will you go forward? You will be so much more enjoying life. You don't want to avoid problems, run away from. No, we want to solve them. All right, so to kind of summarize it, or to look at it in a very simple way, the problem solving has 3 basic steps. It's very simple. Analyze the problem, find a solution, and get in action. That's all it takes. The 9th step, this is more the detailed steps, but there's only 3 basic steps in it. Analyze, understand the problem, find the right solution, and then go in action doing it. Couldn't be more simple, but of course, it's not easy. Now, why is that? Because internally, in our mindset, or in our soft skills or hard skills, we have internal barriers, difficulties. We need to somehow open our superpower, break through these inner barriers, etc. So to get some practice. So in assignment number 1, ask a colleague what problem he has and use the process to coach him into solving it. Now, this is very, very important. So when you go to somebody, you say, hi, amigo, I have this home assignment I need to do from this golden key of teamwork of Michael Bang. And I need to ask you, do you have a problem? Do you have a problem you somehow didn't solve on your own? If the person says, no, shit, I'm looking for someone with a problem. All right, go to another one. Do you have a problem you're not happy with? Until you find somebody, oh yeah, I have a problem. Good. Then you take up the template, and like the template you have here, where you have the different steps, the 9 steps. And what you do here, very, very important, ask them the questions. Ask them to analyze the problem. You're helping him, guiding him, coaching, but you don't solve it for them. When you look for the potential solutions, you don't say, I know what you need to do, because that's a tendency so many people have. I know what to do. You need to do this or this or this. But even if you give the right advice, very often people will reject it because it was not their solution. So if the solution, they have to get up at 5 a.m, take a cold shower and go running. If you say it, person might often resist it. But if you ask, what could you do? What should you do? What would be good to do? And the person sitting there thinking, well, maybe I should get up at 5 a.m, take a very cold shower, then go running a bit. Maybe that would solve the problem. Now the person would be much more motivated to do it because he came up with it. So the best is the person says it himself. And now you more help them, support them, guide them, etc. So this is with a colleague. Now you do exactly the same assignment, but now with a friend. The friend can be a relative or just a friend you're having. It doesn't matter. The main thing here is get some practice. And, you can ask 2 friends, 3 friends, etc. But because practice makes perfect. Repetition is the mother of all learning. If you want to become a master problem solver, you have to practice. You cannot learn to do it without doing it. And then ask yourself, Michael, or whatever your name is, what problem do I have? Then take a piece of paper, take up the template, and start writing down. And then brainstorm with others if you're not sure what to do. But the main thing here is get practice. And then suddenly, when a client comes with a problem, it's not so stressful. When you have a problem, it's not so stressful because you have a lot of practice now in solving problems. All right, amigos, and this is what will help you to go through the barriers, the difficulties, going out of your comfort zone, eat the frogs on the way, be a fighter, go the 12 rounds. Problems are not always solved immediately until you reach your goals, your dreams, and you are really on a mission to do great things because you have unlocked your potential to your problem-solving superpower. All right, amigos, have fun doing it. It's not so stressful when you do it. All right, then, have fun, and I see you the next lesson.